Ah,
Okay. Maybe I'll just go through quickly the overview again so that the recordings okay. Yeah. Again, um this is Suftnet retail store business. We've gotten this BRD document for us to tackle some of the case study they have here. This retail store is fictional and is located in Aberdeen in the United Kingdom. So they embark on a data analysis project as we mentioned earlier. Oh, please, can we just pause the recording? I just have a short distraction here. Recording again now. I think. Okay. Yeah. So again, we have a case study here, which is about a fictional software retail store located in Aberdeen. They are embarking on a data analysis project aimed to enhance their sales insight through data visualization by using, the power of Microsoft Power BI. The retail store is the manager, which is Mr. Abel. In this case, envision a more streamlined and automated approach to data analysis because their data analysts in-house often use, Excel has to do a lot of manual work, which is not really, really productive. So they have, to achieve this, they have engaged a team of Power BI developer here, which is led by Sister Debbie to assist the store with this transformative task. The objective is to reduce the manual work and enable analysts to focus on the high impact, so that will benefit the company, to focus on that. So this is some of the scopes that will be given to us. Collect the data, requirement gathering. I think we have some of those things that have been highlighted down. They also want to implement a resilient data loading mechanism whereby uh, they will just be putting, as the year comes, they can put new files into that particular folder and the Power BI will just keep, when you refresh it, it will just keep picking it up by itself. Some of the things we'll do is do any form of data transformation, then we can build our modeling, and finally, thirdly, we also need to, build the Power BI report that is more user-friendly, that is the user interface rather. And finally, we should publish these reports in an open space where, people can access it as well. The project goals, you are here. We have a couple of data that's been given to us. Sales folder, which is we have in the Excel here. Okay, let me just go back. We have the sales data here. We have 2014. I'll just quickly open one of them. Then we'll have a look at so that we can have an insight of what the data look like before we start putting them into our Power BI. That is coming up. Yeah. So this is the data. We have the primary key, the product ID, the sales rep, the location where the store is, right? And we have the dates of that particular sales, and we have the units, the unit price. For percentage of standard cost, we also have here revenue discount. So from here now, I can see we have, the units at every point in time where this particular order, and the person that the salesperson that attend to this particular order, and the order is coming from, I think, coming from Germany, and the units, we have everything here. So this is the same structure we have for 2014. This is being generated from the system. Their sales, the sales software they are using. This is where they usually collect out the data. Moving on to some of the things we are given, we have the categories, the geography. Maybe we should just have a look at those two tables as well and see how they look like. That should be the dimension, categories. Okay. Okay. So we have, so the categories can either be special or general, which is being have a category key 1 and 2. So these are, we only have 2 columns here. So this is kind of forming our dimension. The way I'm saying it, this is going to be a dimension. And if you remember our definition of our dimension table, and that's what takes the who, the what, where, when. So we can see now, this look like what, because it's a category. What category is a special category or is a general category? So from there, we are already building, data modeling at the back of our mind that, oh, this is gonna be my lookup table. Yeah. Moving on, let's look at the other geography. I think we have geography as well. Okay, so we have the geographical location where most of our customers are, they are based, and this, based on the data set, this is where we are getting most of the order from, and the town, the country. Yeah. But if you look at what we have in the facts table now, which the way I'm looking at this case study is going to be all the sales data. So we can see some things that we need to work on here. We can see this location, both the country and the town, they are in one column separated by the semicolon delimiter. So that's already giving me something idea that, oh, we need to split this column when we get to Power Query. Yeah. Let's look at the products. In this case, we have the products here, but we are going to use this also is already in a database. So we'll assume that we have access to their database here. So locally on my own laptop, I have SQL Management Studio here, which is SQL. I have SQL Server Management Studio, which is from Microsoft, or you can also use the Postgres, which is pgadmin. So there are two different types of, depending on the platform, or the platform you're going to use, to get this data out is the SQL Server, using the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So I'll just assume that we have access to this. Okay, so I'm going to look to the database. So this is the database here, retail store. This is the database, and if I open up the tables, I can see the product here. I can see the product. Maybe we can have it. So one thing we need to do, we need to find a way and get this product table into our Power BI. So I'm just gonna run a small query to see what this data look like before we get it into the Power BI. So let me open up my query. So you don't need to worry about this. You just will use the select from. So what I'm selecting here is I'm selecting everything here, and I'm calling my products. I want to call this products table. So I can run this query and see how this data look like. Now, so we have the product ID, category key, the color, the product name, the retail price. So this data that we have, the Suftnet retail store database, we have been given access, to pick up this data directly without, they don't want us to export it out. So this is established now. Let's go back to case study. So I'm just going to strike through this CSV strike through. Yeah, so we are going to use the database. Yeah, that's fine. We also have the sales rep, which is in Excel, and we have the subcategories also in Excel. Let's take a look at those two table data and see what they look like. Okay, so we have the sales rep ID, we have the sales rep name. These are what we have. Yeah, this also look like a dimension table, like a lookup table for us as well. The final one we have is the subcategory. So let's see what's in the subcategory as well. Okay, yeah. So we have the subcategory key, the category key as well, the category name. So it could either be the extra, the regular, the micro, and the super. So we can see the category key. I know in the category key, it can either be, what's that again? I think we only have two category. It can either be special or general, right? So that means this is how they're connected. So what that is saying that if it is micro, it's going to be general. If it is extra, it's going to be general. If it is regular, then it's going to be special. So this is what I can see some kind of connection between those two tables. You know, the current tax we have now. Let's go back to BRD now. So this is what we have. I want to assume that we are all on the same page now based on this overview of the background or of this case study. Can I just get a response to confirm that we are all on the same page?
From here, yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, Sister, we carry on, please.
No. Please talk. I was gonna say I'm okay with it.
Okay, yes. I was just gonna ask to see this numbers 1 to 6 again. These I think these are the numbers that we have here.
Yep.
Okay, so these pertain to the dimension tables, right?
Yeah, so these are all the data we have, but for now, we don't even know which one is going to be our dimension. But looking at some of those data that we started opening, I can see my sales folder as, the sales record that is going to be my fact table. Then I can spot, based on those relationships, because most of them are just 2 columns, 3 columns data set. Then I can assume for now as that those are my dimension table.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. I know you had said that the dimension tables are normally categorized by where, by whom, what, and we can see that already. Sales rep will be by whom.
Yeah.
Geography will be where. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So the first thing, our first task now is to load all the files from the sales folder in a single sales fact table. So that's what we are going to do. Yeah, so let's try and see how we can load. I'm gonna go ahead and open my Power BI now and see how I can. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, so we can see the Word document, and then there's, I think Power BI is just opening on top of it.
Okay. Because I was seeing a frame that shows when I'm sharing my screen, but suddenly that just disappeared somehow. I wanted to confirm. Okay, just close this. All right. Okay. Now, I'm very sure we are all familiar with our Canvas page, which is the Power BI here. So the first thing we need to do now, let's start getting our data into the Power BI. So let's start with the Excel. I think we have 1 or 2 Excel files that we need to bring here. Starting with the dimension. Yeah, we have the categories, the geography, the sales rep. So we'll just load all this Excel. Let's load them one by one. Okay, file in use. I think I need to close all this. Let me close everything. Just gonna close this. Close this. And I'll close this. And save. Okay, everything is done now. So let me go ahead again and try to load this. Okay, right. So again, this is our category. The way we are having 2 tables coming up now. 2 data, tables here. We have this one category and we have this one as category. So the reason why we are saying this is that particular data we have in the categories, is in a table format. It's in a table format. So if let me just try and open it again. Categories. I hope it's not gonna say it's in use, but let me just ignore that and see what this is going to show. I don't know why my system is so slow. Okay, yeah. So looking at this, this is already in, I can see this data is in a table, and this small arrow here, it told me that this tells me rather that this is in a table. And when I click inside, I also see this table design being activated. That means this data itself is in a table format. So I'll just ignore the table and pick the sheet on its own, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Let me go back to my Power BI. So how do you know if which one is the table, which one is the sheet? Once you see this blue icon here, you know, this is a table format. This is already in table format. And this is, you know, a sheet. I don't know why it's spotting that I've opened this same spreadsheet. Let me go back and close it. Okay. Right. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and pick the sheets because, yeah, I prefer to do the sheet myself. So I'm not going to do any transformation for now. I'll just load it. I'll just load all the data at once. Then we'll go back to our Power Query and start doing the necessary transformation. So the first data set is going in now. Let's see. Right. Okay.
Mr. Azeem, so why do you have to load instead of transform?
Yeah, so
really, is it because you have different data sources also?
No, there is no any process to that. But okay, I'm just trying to take this stepwise by getting all the data into the Power BI first. Then we'll go back and start doing all the necessary transformation, because based on the task here, you know, the task given to us here is that we should just find a way to load all the files into the Power BI first. Then we can go ahead. Maybe we can do the two at the same time, but I just want to take this step wisely. That's why I said, okay, maybe let's load all the data. Let's get all the 6 data sets into the Power BI, and we start doing any transformation, you know, we want to do.
It's fine. No worries. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. I think this is here now. I can see my category here. I can see, yeah, so this is fine. Even without doing any transformation, I think this particular data set is very clean, so it's good to go. Let's go back again. I'm going to go and pick another one. We have geography. I'll load that as well. So it's really been a while. I start my laptop, so it's a bit slow. Yeah, so this is also going to look like this. Now I can see some error, but I will go ahead and load it. Then all the transformation, as I mentioned earlier, we'll do them, you know, after loading all the entire data set. Sometimes this is not the best approach, but because some of these data are just they are not really much, but based on the best practice, we should have transformed the data before we load. But because we have small data sets, and I want this to be a stepwise thing, that's why I'm using this approach. Go ahead and load again. Okay, excellent. It was loaded. I'll go again. Pick my sales rep. Okay. It's taking some time to load. Okay, again, I have the table and I have the sheet here. So I'll go ahead and pick the sheets instead, and I'll go and load this. Again, I'm going to go to the next data set, which is subcategories now. I'll load this inside. I'll pick the sheet instead of the table as well. Yep. And I'll load this. Now, I think we have all, the first set of the data, we have it here. But if you look at, we are still missing the product data set. I'm still going to come back to that. So we have our sales data here, which is in CSV. So we're going to start manually loading each of these each of this table data rather one by one. We load the 2014, we load the 2015, and I can see they are in CSV. So maybe we can just load folder instead. Yeah. So if you have the same set of data, the same set of data structure, we can load the folder directly, just like we normally append queries. If you recall one of the previous classes that we Sister Debbie took us in Excel, we append one or like 2 or 3 tables together with the same data structure. So now all these are the same thing. So, and one of the things that I told us in the requirement that maybe next year, okay, the other years, they will just dump these files here, dump it, and just one click in the Power BI and everything will pick it up. And that's exactly what we are going to do. So in this case, we are going to load the folder rather than loading each of this one by one, because they want the tasks to be automated. Yeah. So not to worry, we have Power BI has that functionality that we can load a folder. So I'll just click here now, go to the more, and look at all the the different aspects of data connectors that I have. And thankfully, I have the folder here. So I'll just go ahead and click on my folder. Yeah. I'll click on the folder and click on connect. It's going to try and load up for me. Yeah, it's asked me the folder path. So what I just need to do, I just need to navigate to that same particular folder, which is where I have under Suftnet. Yep. Okay, I have it here. I have it under project data sets, and this is where I have it, sales. This is where I have it here, and I'll just click on this. So this is the path to that particular folder. And the moment I click on OK, it's gonna give me about 3 or 4 options: combine, load, transform, and cancel. So this is the entire data set. You can see the name of the file, the extension. As I mentioned, they are all in CSV file. Give me all the folder path. So what I want to do now, I'll just, as I mentioned, I'm going to combine, combine and load as well. I'm not going to load separately, because if I click on load, it's still going to take them one by one. Instead, I'll click on combine and load. The normal way, I'm supposed to click on combine and transform, that I need to transform this data before I load it into my Power BI canvas. So let's just go ahead, combine and load, and see what that is going to do for us. Okay, it's building connection. Right. So it's even look at, say, all the data set now. This is a pick of the file, how the file look like. I think everything is all right. So I'll just go ahead and say, oh, just load it for me. I can go back and do the necessary transformation that I want to do. Okay. Just trying to, load, creating connection. Okay, I can see now all the, yeah. So if I look, let's just take a look at how the data is looking. Sales, yeah, you can see the source name, the primary key. If I look at this drop down here now, I will see both 2014, 15, 16, 17. Everything has been combined together for me. And when we get to the Power Query, you will see automatically Power BI has do some transformation, which is not visible to me now until I get to Power Query that combines some of those file for me, combine everything together, because they all have the same data structure, the same column, the same data type. They all have the same thing. And this is, yeah. Is this clear for us?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So the final data set, which is, to get directly from the SQL database, is what we need to do now. So how do we handle that? Yeah, again, Power BI has multiple connections. I'll just go to the more again for us to see different types of connection. You can see we have Oracle database, and the current one we have now is the SQL Server database, which is this one. So how do we connect? How do we get that product data from it? I'm just gonna click on this particular one, which
Azeem,
is
sorry, I think you can find the SQL Server there on the Power BI desktop. So why don't you pick it up from there?
oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's another one. Yeah,
Okay.
SQL Server, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's also here again. That's fine. So it's asking me what is my server. Yeah, also enter a port number. So let's assume that this is, we have access to this and we have been given the data, the server. So let me just go manually into my SQL server and get my server name. So this is my server name here, which is, I have this desktop PM something. This is my SQL server name. I'll go back to my Power BI, right? Now get this. Yeah. So there are two different types of imports when you are dealing with SQL. The imports and direct query. So the difference between, if you have a large data number of sets, you might not want to, avoid using import, because what import is going to do is going to bring the entire data set into your Power BI, and that's building up more memory into your model. So, but for now, we only have just a minimum, a small data set, and that's why I'm going to use it at this import. But the direct query, if you bring data in the direct query, it's going to remain where it is. It's not going to come into your Power BI. So, but the thing about using direct query means you will not able to what's it called? You will not able to see the data. So if I use direct query now, and I try to bring the data, normally if I will come to the data type, we can see how the data, but in Power Query, you will not have access to that data. You will not have access to it. You will not see it. Everything will just be blank because you are not bringing it. You are not importing it. We are only creating a kind of connection between your Power BI and the database. Also, there are also another way. Maybe I can even write a query here, maybe the way I have it here, I don't want to bring, I want to bring only where color is red. So if I try to write another query here to add where color let me see if this is gonna work, is red. I'll just see if this is right here. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Sometimes SQL, yeah. So let's say I only want to bring only the product where the color is red. I don't want to, I have a large data set, and I don't want to bring everything. So I can just copy this, once I know that, oh, my query is working perfect now, then I'll just go to my Power BI and plug it in here that, oh, you know what? I have, test this query for my SQL and everything fine. I don't want all the data into my Power BI. I only want where color is red. So I can use this query here now. Let's just have a look at how this is gonna, or is okay. Because I have specified a query now, that means I need to specify the database. So the name of the database is retail. Let me grab again. I think it's called retail underscore store. So let's go back. Just click on retail, type retail underscore store. Yeah. So let's see if this works. It's creating a connection. Yeah, and you can see the same thing, I perform in my query. I've written my query as, oh, you know what, give me only the one, product that has color red. So I'll just cancel this. Yeah, we'll cancel it and we'll load the overall product data. Again, I go to my SQL. Let me go and pick the name of my SQL server again. Okay, this here. Right, and I'll leave it as import. Let me see. So I want to see, I don't want to specify a database.
Sorry,
Yes.
So, for you to import, I think that's the best approach. So if you want to use the query aspect, query process, so if there are connectivity issues, so you might lose track, in the SQL server. So that might also distort your work, your flow of work on your Power BI. Since of course you are not seeing those data, you are working directly on the SQL server until you now want to publish whatever you must have done. And yeah. So
Yeah.
I like that part that you truly explain the reason why you need to import instead of using the query process to do it.
Yeah. So sometimes if you have billions of, SQL Server has that capability to store, millions and billions of data. But just like there was a task, that I did recently. It's one of the football club, and you have over 450 years of data. So you can imagine if I load that entire data set into Power BI, the user, friendly, or the optimization is going to be very poor. So what I did, I wrote a query that's okay, these are the set of data set that I need. I don't want to bring everything. And that's why, okay, I was able to use the import, the query, the direct query, as the case may be. But now we are just using the import. So if you remember, I didn't specify a database. So this is the retail data. I want to see everything. This is the entire, and this is the table on that particular database. So I can just go ahead and pick this. Sorry? What's going on? Hello?
Muted the person. They don't know they are muted.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just gonna load this one. This is the table one. Even me, I don't know what's going on there. Okay. All right. So this is the product. You just click on this product and I will load it as well. Yeah.
As you can see that table has it has blue. So why are you loading it instead of the sheets? We don't have sheets on it, so why?
Is every data
is
in database is a table.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a table.
Okay.
It's a table. So that's why, unlike normal we export, I can as well go back into my SQL and export it as a, as a Excel or as a CSV, as the case may be. But we just want to connect directly to that particular product, particular product table. And you can see from here, this is the database, this is the table. So in one single database, you can see multiple. Let's say, for example, I'll just pick this Adventure Works 2020, and you will see, different types of table, a lot about this is close to maybe 100 or so tables that are inside this Adventure Works. So, but that's not the scope for this task that we are doing. So let's go back. I think we all have, let's take a look at it and see how our data is looking. We have this, we have the products, so everything seems to be fine. Sales, right? We have sales rep ID. If I come here, I'm seeing an ID attached to this. I'm even seeing, sales rep ID and sales rep name. So that means we need to do something. So I wanted to show this, this is the reason why I wanted to show this, whereby I don't want to transform, do the same thing simultaneously. I just want to have a look at this. Yeah, let's look at this categories as well. I can see, yeah, the categories, I can only see 1 or 2. ID is not there, which is also, what I have here. The geography, also need a form of transformation. The products, yeah. So this supposed to be a unique key. I can see, repetition here. The same thing, repetition. So this is telling me that, oh, I need to remove duplicates because this is the product ID. Probably the person that entering this data into the SQL Server forget to drop this particular or alter this particular, delete this, alter this table and delete product ID, or probably run the query twice when it's creating this table, and I can see this, the same thing, product ID 7 appearing product ID 10. So it can go into our Power Query and do the transformation. I think that's the first task. We also have, do the respective transformation for sales fact table in order to split country from city, and the feed location. Make sure you set up the correct data types to allow geomaps. Do the necessary updates, the data field, create a unique key, geo key in sales and geographic table. So we have all, some of these tasks that we also need to do. With I think we've overshoot our time, so I don't know if we can stop here for today, and by next week we'll start dealing with the transformation. So I will try and drop this case study on the platform, on the WhatsApp, so that, and the data set as well. I'll try and find a way to get that. Or maybe, I don't know, I think we have a drive, Stadebi, where we can just put some of those things and people can go in there and download it rather than putting it into WhatsApp all the time.
There's a WhatsApp group for documents, actually. Not.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell Nikki to add you on there if you're not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, or you can even message her that you need to be able to drop documents into that repository.
Okay.
So if he drops it there, would we all have access to the data?